So this is showing again how we can increase our intervals and just basically you're saying the intensity is going to be a little bit more. I'm going to rest a little bit less here. So what I'm suggesting here is if you go fast, you blast fat. So here they took 15 women and they found that high intensity exercise, 40 to 45 minutes, 4 times a week at this. So look at 15 weeks, 45 minutes. These women kept their heart rate at 163 beats. They lost 5% of their body fat. When they did it at the lower intensity, there was no change. We need to have some intensity. So then in this one, they did a year, and this was a different study, and here they did an hour of exercise. And what they did was, here they took 30 minutes of aerobic and 30 minutes of strength training, or you did 60 minutes of aerobic, which would be good for your heart, but what does it do for your body composition? And the people that added the strength training lost 11% of their body fat, whereas just the aerobic people only lost 3% of their body fat. And these were obese adolescents. So 4 times more fat loss when you include strength training. See, it raises that metabolism, and that's what we're after. Here at Penn State, they did a similar thing, and what they found was that 6 more pounds of fat than groups who didn't exercise or who did only aerobics. This reason, the other group shed muscle too. So here what we're trying to see is they lost 21 pounds, everybody. But this group lost 15 pounds of fat and 15 pounds of muscle. Well, which group was that? Just the aerobic or diet with no exercise. But the group that kept the strength training kept the muscle on. That means their metabolism's higher, and it's going to be easier for them to lose weight as they proceed from there. So resistance training is a big deal. And what this is saying is if you do strength training, your resting energy expenditure is up 8%, even 72 hours afterwards. So that means after you're done exercising, you're still burning calories. Now, I want to talk about this and use it as an example. And I'm not an expert, and I just want to use it as an illustration. What we have here is, this is the last winner that I'm aware of. Oh, no. It's a couple back. And it was the first woman to win. And good for her. So this was her before, and this is her after. And she lost 47.9% of her body weight, which was 112 pounds. Okay, that's great. All I'm saying is there's kind of an interesting thing here that I think we should point out. These guys came in second. So this guy is this guy, right? And he lost 45% of his body. And so here he is, and here he is. And then this guy was in there too. So this guy and that guy are the same. He went from 285. I might have the wrong guy there. Anyway, he lost a ton, and it was at 45%. Yeah, 285 to 156. All right. But what happened, and it was good of the trainers, but it just doesn't work for the rules of the show, is that these guys got down to their ideal body fatness. And then what they did, they lifted weights, which was great. Look at the arm on this guy. But it gave them more weight. So this doesn't say that he lost 45% of fat. It says of his weight, and it's because he gained muscle. So he's actually healthier, but he lost the contest. So that's something to think about. Now, the latest one is the big controversy. And so here this young lady is 24 years old. She began at 260 and ended up 105. Okay, so you know you're not going to recognize her, right? So there she is before and after. Now the controversy was, did she go too lean? And so this big deal was a big sensation and all that kind of thing. Well, I don't know about that. But the idea is, did she lose? Here she could use some muscle. So she may have won because she's this tiny little thing now. But it probably would have been healthier for her to have some muscle on her body and to keep that. And if she did it, I'm sure she worked hard, and I hope it all works out for her. I'm just trying to use this as an example. Okay, I hope that gets you started with some of those kinds of things. Now, this one is a little bit different. Tabata is out there. He's popular. We may not do exactly Tabata, but the idea is good. And what this is high-intensity interval training. What he found was that he could train people in shorter amounts of time, but he has to really make them work. And so what they did was they did 70% intensity. He compared that with a group that did 170% intensity. So they could only go in 20 seconds. Okay, and then they'd get 10 seconds rest, and they'd go 20 seconds, 10 seconds rest, 20 seconds. And these people were doing more of the plotting that we've been talking about a little bit. Okay, so it's moderate intensity. So this is what Tabata looks like. And so the sprint is 20 seconds, the rest is 10, and you do 8 of those. So here's how much you're working, resting, okay? This is an example of what we want to do. Now, you may not be this intense, that's fine, but we get results this way. We get cardiovascular, we get the aerobic and anaerobic, and we lose weight this way. And so this is just an example of it. And so out of this, I want you to be aware and see this over here. It will change the way you think about exercise. And the reason is that after the exercise, 5 times more calories after the workout. And so because that muscle was so active, so you'll see this all the time, and it's T25, it's all of these kinds of things. Intensity really works, and this is why. You can get a free app about Tabata, and you can make up your own, or I have some available for you online. And what you do is there's a clock, and there's the cycles and all these kinds of things, and then you just put it on your smartphone, and then it keeps time for you, and you don't have to do that. Combined with your heart rate app, it's a pretty good asset. So here, this is the end of the principles. What I'm going to have online is more examples of exercises, whether it's yoga, whether it's weightlifting, and I'll have some Tabata things there too. And Pinterest, it's a wonderful place to go and get exercises and new ideas and those kinds of things. But let's have some discussion on exercises, what you want to do, and I'll try to make some suggestions, and then you can look through some of the sources online and find some more things there. Thank you very much.